So hey, good Thursday morning to you. John Bergsman here from Domk Outdoors in Monroe, Michigan. We've got an awesome report for you today, coming to you from generally all over the Great Lakes, sent to us from our buddy Brendan Ozarczyk, who is the cameraman slash production engineer and the final guy that makes a lot of shows for Strike King TV. So he's a really solid fisherman, but because he's filming all the time, he relegates his fishing to the real early season and the late season. Well, as you see these fish go across the screen, you'll know what we're talking about. There is a late bite that goes on this time of year, every year, with big lake trout, and it's around basically all the major port towns, whether it's the pier heads or just outside the pier heads on some rocky structures. You can find great lake trout fishing, and what's fun about this presentation is you're casting. You're casting with just regular spinning rods. I mean, if you wanted to use your bait casting bass rod, that'd be fine too. But what you're doing is casting big swim baits, 375, 475s, all the way up to 575 Strike King Rage swimmers. The best two colors, in my opinion, are the ice color, which is a pure white one with a sparkly belly, and the second best color, which I often go to on a darker day, is the green pumpkin with a pearl belly. That really imitates a goby closely, and they really are feeding heavily on gobies in the rocks this time of the year. So technique, basically, big jig, like 1/2 to 1 ounce squadron jig head. Cast that sucker as far as you can on light braided line, like a 15-pound contra braid would be perfect for this style of fishing. And the reason you want that is because you want to feel that bottom. You want to be able to feel everything when you're going. And you're going to pop that a couple times. And what I would suggest is you're working on finding the cadence they want to see, and you're using your Garmin, your side and forward looking live scope and side scan to find the right type of bottom contour structure and hopefully mark a fish or two quick, and then you can start your fishing. But that's why you're using your electronics, both forward and side view, to locate both the right bottom and the fish, and then you're just making long casts and working different cadences, whether it's a pop hop or whether it's a fast reel, stop, kill it, let it sink all the way to the bottom, do it again, 3-4 cranks, stop again. A lot of times while you're either cranking or just stopped, you'll feel that pronounced tick from that lake trout just completely destroying your big swim bait. So where does it happen? You know, the Port au Gres area is really good, all the way up to Tawas. You also have it on the other side, on the thumb, Port Austin down Lexington, Sanilac. There's a lot of big lakers that use those port entries and those pier heads, and they're available to catch this time of year. If you're on the western side of the state, you're going to be, Saugatuck to Grand Haven. That includes Holland. There's a really good strip of water right there where you can catch a lot of big spawning lakers. Now, when I say spawning lakers, they're done spawning now. But what brought them into the shallow water is to spawn. They spawn in October, November, depending on water temperature. And now they're feeding ferociously to try to pack on pounds for the winter, where they're just going to kind of mill around dormantly and do nothing. So this is the time of the year. You're not just, when these fish hit, you'll know it. They're going to rip the rod out of your hand because they are actively feeding right now. A lot of guys will just go to pier heads where there's lots of rock structure around the fronts for wave control, like the Holland pier head, for example. I see guys lined up out there and they're casting out into the channel and they're just doing these retrieves. That really works well at times. You'll get those lakers come right into that channel area, especially the outer part of the channel area around those rocks. So remember, a couple safety tips. When you're doing any type of pier fishing at this time of year where you can have water below hand, below freezing, you want to get into Domk Outdoors, or if you're not around here, your local tackle shop, and get yourself a set of studs for your boots. The worst thing you can have happen this time of year is you slip on the ice and fall into the water, because the water is darn cold and your survival rate is pretty poor. So be prepared. Go out there with a set of studs. Otherwise, it's simple bass fishing equipment with great big Rage swimmers. You're going to have a great time all around the Great Lakes on these pier heads while these Lakers are close by and ready to bite.
You always get the best at Beck's Trailer Superstore, the nation's largest trailer dealer. With over 1,500 trailers on 45 acres, you won't find a better selection anywhere. Whether you're looking for an open or enclosed trailer for work or play, you'll find the perfect trailer at Beck's. We have flexible financing options through several national and local lenders to offer the most competitive rates and payments from only $69 per month with approved credit. For the best selection of quality trailers at unbeatable prices, call 888-SAVE-BECKS or visit BecksTrailerStore.com.
Hey guys, hopefully we're going to have a bunch of ice fishing for you next week. I've seen a few smatterings from the Upper Peninsula. One of the reasons I'm hesitant to talk about that super early bite that goes on at Gogebic and also up in the Marquette region with my buddy Mike Coziera and all the way down to Lake Cadillac is because the ice isn't really safe, to be honest. There's a few maniacs out there, and I'm sure they're going to catch a few fish, but I don't want to send the masses out to places that the ice isn't safe at yet. So hopefully next week we'll be bringing you ice fishing reports from this upcoming weekend and the successes that they had. But when it does go, it's early season ice and it's going to be some really good stuff. So if you've got time to make plans to hit the Upper Peninsula here in the next 2 to 3, 4 weeks, you can pretty much make those plans because there's cold weather coming up there and they've already got ice on most of the lakes, and it's only going to make it thicker and more fishable and, most importantly, safe. Hey, we'll see you next week on Fisherman's Digest.